the lockdown will very much likely be extended indefinitely. 14 plus need days of strict lockdown is needed to track and contain the spread. The counter resets to zero every time a public gathering happens in the country. Given the fact how obedient Indians are, the lockdown wouldn't be completely effective. Moreover, the Janta Curfew 5 pm bash did what it had to do and is about to make a big wave of numbers by the end of next week. Majority of people still don't understand the scenario and are merely scared of the police. It's only 2 weeks later when people would willingly stick to their houses out of terror, which would start to unravel. Listen this up. This virus cannot be stopped by this lockdown. It cannot be stopped by anything other than a vaccine. It can only be slowed, and the government is very well aware the country would collapse if it goes all italic. People would die in multiples of thousands every day, and the country evidently doesn't have enough infrastructure or resources to handle the magnitude of cases or the level of chaos on such a large scale. There aren't even enough testing kits for conducting mass testing. There's no way to keep a check on the spread if it goes out of hands. Economy has already dipped, and the government is shit scared because it knows this lockdown is its first and last defense against the virus. Let's say the lockdown gets lifted up. With all confirmed patients at that point being hospitalized, there would still remain thousands of carriers. Carriers without any symptoms who would roam about unnoticed, untraceable. Even you and me could unknowingly be carriers. And schools, colleges, offices would start again. Public gatherings would happen and carriers would unknowingly resume the spread. People would start falling like flies again eventually. Older people would be at maximum risk during this period. The country might be thrown into another lockdown if the rate of spread gets severe again and fall back in the loop. Thus, indefinite lockdown seems imminent. Probability says 60% of the population is bound to get infected. Italy faced it, France, Spain, US and the other countries are facing the same. Depending upon how widespread it gets within the country, millions of people are deemed to get infected, but only a relative small fraction, that is 1 to 3%, would actually die. Leading epidemiologists project if mathematical models applied in US and UK were applied to India, we could be looking at 300 million infections, 10 million serious and 1 million deaths. However, panic and dread would take more lives than the disease itself. Fear alone makes some people feel feverish, and placebo reinforces it, compromising the immune system. Stay alert, not afraid. The government is urging you to stay at home to flatten the curve, to restrain the number of people falling ill per day, so that if at any given point your loved ones or you fall ill, which probability sadly insists, there would always be an empty bed and a doctor available for you at some nearby hospital. It would be a miracle if this lockdown alone is able to contain the spread in this country. Stay safe, stay home, have your inventories filled, take special care of older people while keeping off all kinds of physical contacts and objects you're both likely to touch, since you might be a carrier. Contribute to NGOs and support organizations. Feed the animals and the homeless by your street. Wash hands often and maintain distance. Hang on till cure arrives. This too shall pass. Most importantly, if possible, try to briefly educate people in your locality about how the virus infects them and harms their body. It is basic human instinct to resist being told what to do. Instructions make them stubborn. Information would likely make them do the right thing, make everything sound more reasonable to them. Awareness isn't just spreading a what, but also answering all the hows and the whys.
Our hearts go out to those who have been diagnosed with the novel coronavirus disease. India is on the verge of entering the third stage of this pandemic. Now more than ever, we need to be aware and cautious to prevent this virus from destroying us. Everybody needs to follow the instructions of the government. Stay indoors, stay safe, wash your hands, break the chain, flatten the curve. Let's defeat COVID-19. As a result of this lockdown, obviously we are unable to create and upload new content for our viewers. We will be postponing all our projects until the quarantine period becomes unnecessary. This is also to notify all our clients that we have no other option but to postpone their projects as well.